All right, here it comes. We're going to see the snow and ice and freezing rain moving into our area. I'll show you the timeline.
And countdown to that snowfall here in North Carolina. This is a live look in Syracuse, New York. Look how much snow they have. They are currently seeing the winter storm that is heading our way. We have team coverage on what you can expect hour by hour today.
It's a travel nightmare. Dozens of cancellations at RDU International this morning. The newest updates from airlines as passengers scramble to adjust their plans. A little pre-planning needed today for certain with what is on the way. We've been telling you for days, and today is the day. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's good to have you along with us here on a Wednesday.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for an HU. Of course, it's a WRAL weather alert day. Calm before the storm. Everything's calm right now, not seeing anything going on. But meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking the storm hour by hour.
We still have a little while before it all begins, but we're looking at snow in parts of the viewing area, some sleet and some freezing rain all mixing in. Of course, we're expecting the roads to be slippery, and of course, we could see in a few spots ice heavy enough that it will cause some power outages. Here's a look at our snowfall forecast. Southern Pines, Fayetteville, Clinton could end up with up to an inch of snow and sleet. And then, of course, we take it in a little bit closer. We're going to zoom in on Wake County in a second. But notice here the blue shaded area, really from, say, Warrenton, South Hill, eastward over toward Roanoke Rapids. That's where we could see 4 to 6 inches. Don't be surprised if we do end up seeing some heavier totals around Wilson and Rocky Mount. Don't forget, that's an area where some of that snowfall may be a little heavier as well. So looking at 2 to 4 inches, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 to 4 inches again over a little farther to the east as well. And in Wake County, we're going to see that cutoff somewhere in the middle of the county where we see more of that snow sleet mix down to the south and a bit more in terms of the snow to the north. From Fayetteville to Clinton to Goldsboro, this is where we have the pocket where we could see enough freezing rain for there to be issues with the power outages. So this morning when I walked in, I saw a little bit of the moon, but that won't last long. We'll see increasing clouds. This version of Futurecast running a little bit faster than some of the others. And it does show some of that snow and mixed wintry precipitation as early as around 9 to 10, really filling in across the viewing area closer to noon. And we're just going to be watching that line again for much of the day. That line may be right here around Durham and Rocky Mount. So we're looking at that pink area could be any sort of mix. It could be a snow sleet mix. It could be rain, freezing rain. It just isn't all snow. And then we're back to, snow across the northern part of the viewing area. A little bit of a break during the evening and another round for tomorrow. There's Thursday at 10 a.m. That snow is falling, but it should be over by around lunchtime. This is a live look at Apex this morning. All quiet. It is 31 degrees. We have a northeast wind at around 5 miles per hour. The temperature might drop a little bit more before the precipitation begins, but right now it's 33 in Fayetteville and Goldsboro, 29 in South Hill, 30 degrees in Roxborough. So going to hold it right here, probably dropping into the upper 20s, and then our highs this afternoon will hold right around freezing. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the amounts you may see and especially when the roads might get treacherous.
And this winter storm has already forced schools across our area to change their schedules for today. Wake County schools are closed today. So are Cumberland County schools. All the other counties in red you see here on this map will also have no school today. Counties in green will have remote learning, and that includes Durham and Orange counties. You can find the full list of schedule changes on WRAL.com.
And this morning, road crews in Raleigh will be staged throughout the city, ready to clear roads that need it the most. Laura Levine joins us live from the WRAL Storm Tracker in Wake County this morning. And Laura, the concern isn't really with the highway conditions, but rather the side roads.
Michelle, good morning. We still have a couple of hours before we really see that precipitation. But here in the WRAL Storm Tracker, we're traveling on Airport Boulevard right now in Mooresville, where you can really see that pre-treatment here on the secondary roads. And that's very, very important. One of the main challenges for drivers is navigating secondary roads impacted by accumulation. These roads are likely the last that really gets to see some of that cleanup that happens when we have a winter storm. So the City of Raleigh's transportation manager, he says that treating these roads ahead of the winter weather event is a huge undertaking. Of the 845 miles that city crews cover, primary roads are a top priority for the treatment. We also talked to AAA, who says and describes kind of the challenges navigating those secondary roads as well. You may get too comfortable, once the storm passes, but these roads will likely take some time before they're clear. Take a listen.
that those roads are impassable. There might be a fallen tree, a fallen power line. We know that power lines become issues during these type of wintry weather events. So avoid those back roads. I know it's tempting because you might be able to shave off some time, but more oftentimes than not, those are the roads that aren't clear and they can be danger zones.
Absolutely. So the best advice is to just stay indoors, stay home until all of this passes, and be careful trying to navigate the aftermath of this event. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Morrisville.
Now, the winter storm is already affecting things here at home. This is a live look right now, RDU International Airport. So far this morning, there are 2 delays, 65 cancellations. We will keep an eye on those numbers throughout the day as the storm moves into our area.
Hey, you know what, Jeff, not even just with RDU, right? We're also going to be seeing how the weather is affecting other airports across America right now. I've got that FlightAware misery map behind me to kind of show you what it looks like right now. Actually, let me go ahead and hit refresh real quick and see if that number updates just a tad. And it doesn't want to update there. That's okay, though. But it looks like we have 24 delays are tracking, at least 6 cancellations that we see on the screen for the time being. So it's kind of showing you right now what it looks like elsewhere across America. But I do want to show you right here this video I've been seeing. Now I can hit refresh and show you what's happening in New York, right? All of that snow right there. Now, are we going to see stuff like this? It doesn't appear to be that way here locally, but just to show you what other areas are contending with, I'm going to keep my eyes on all the feeds this morning to see what else is happening across America on this WRAL Weather Alert Day.
First responders are warning about a greater risk of crashes and pileups during this wintry weather. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from I-40 in Wake County. And Kelsey, with the timing of the storm, more cars on the roads and higher speeds, that can lead to some dangerous situations for drivers.
Yes, Michelle, it can. And you may even be able to see some of the brine lining the highway here on 40 and Cary. We know that NCDOT crews worked for hours over the past couple of days to try to keep these roads safe. They're working to prevent incidents like what happened last month. We'll take you to some video now from just over a month ago when winter weather brought dangerous roads. You're looking at the aftermath of a crash involving 9 cars on 87 in Wendell. Our meteorologist team says we're expecting for the winter weather to move in during the late morning hours today. Now, AAA is warning people about road safety as we're expecting a lot of snow and ice.
Just because the road that you're on right now looks clear doesn't mean that approaching bridge is free of ice. So you want to make sure that you're being extra vigilant out there.
And if you're driving on 40 at some point early this morning, you may notice some signs that mention towing cars. We know that crews will probably end up towing all of those vehicles by 8 o'clock this morning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Crews in western North Carolina are working to clear debris from Helene before the snow arrives today. In Rutherford County, crews with Southern Disaster Recovery used a bucket truck to cut some of those overhanging branches. They are a debris removal service out of Greenville, South Carolina, and they also cut down trees that were leaning toward the roads. The company works with more than a dozen counties across western North Carolina. They also help out with people in South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida to clean up after disasters like Helene.
It's a dormant contract that they can sit on the shelf, and when they need us to go to work, kind of like here, we go to work.
The kind of cleanup they do is vital ahead of snow and ice that we're going to see today. Clearing ditches and waterways removes the possibility of flooding along those roads and driveways. Cutting back trees removes the threat of limbs that could fall onto roads, cars, or power lines.
We have a big rivalry game today. UNC is hosting NC State, but the question is whether the game will be postponed because of the snow. The ACC's policy is to cancel or postpone games only if the conditions affect the safety of the teams or game officials involved. The policy also dictates the ACC wait as long as possible to make a decision, and no decision can be made earlier than 24 hours before the scheduled game. So if there will be any changes, the announcement could come at any point between now and 7 o'clock tonight.
You can get the latest weather updates from our team of experienced meteorologists in the WRAL News app. It is free to download, and when you sign up for push notifications, you will have the most up-to-date information right at your fingertips.
And for any questions about the timing of the storm or how much snow and ice you'll see in your area, head to WRAL.com and check out the weather Q&A page. Meteorologist Chris Michaels breaks it all down for you.
20 minutes before 5 on Wednesday, and stranded passengers. Snow forces people to rethink their plans.
We were supposed to leave tomorrow morning to go to Dallas and then connect up to Idaho Falls, but obviously that got canceled.
How much it cost two friends to get from Arkansas to Dallas after their flight was canceled.
And we will take you live out to Lewisburg this morning. The next 2 days are WRAL weather alert days. We have the newest data that shows the most up-to-date timeline for today's winter weather.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, taking a look at temperatures below freezing in most places this morning. 31 in Wilson, it's 31 in Durham. We're still holding out at 33 in Fayetteville. Fayetteville's going to be one of the spots where we have more of that wintry mix. We may have some snow that falls there in Fayetteville, but we're also looking at, the potential for some sleet and some freezing rain there as well. Right now, 30 in Lewisburg, 32 Southern Pines, 33 Tarboro, 28 in South Hill, 37 in Goldsboro. Again, Goldsboro is going to be one of those wintry mixed locations. Now, that said, these temperatures are likely to drop a little bit more in the next few hours. And then also, once the precipitation begins later this morning, those temperatures will probably fall again. If you absolutely must get out and head to the grocery store, please be headed home by around 9 o'clock before the precipitation begins late morning.
Parts of Oklahoma are getting hit by the storm. This is Tulsa and surrounding areas. Already gotten about 4 inches of snow. Some areas could see nearly a foot before this is over. The wind chill there is making it feel like it is below zero. The temperature in Tulsa is not expected to get back above freezing until Saturday.
And the Oklahoma National Guard shared this video of traffic at a standstill during the height of the storm. This is Interstate 44 near the Oklahoma-Missouri state line. It was closed for hours after the storm caused several tractor trailers to crash.
Arkansas is also feeling the effects of this winter storm. Several inches of snow have fallen in the northwestern part of that state. Some places got nearly a foot of snow. That snow is moving out of there this morning, but bitter cold temperatures, they're sticking around, expected to be there through the end of the week.
And the winter storm caused major issues for travelers there in Arkansas. Some passengers are having to rebook their flights after they were canceled at Northwest Arkansas National Airport. After their flight was canceled, David Zarita and Ben Bonner decided to rent a car and drive 5.5 hours to Dallas to get to their ski trip, tacking on dollars to their total expenses.
And a hotel stay, yeah, so I don't know, 300 each probably.
And travelers are being asked to be patient as safety at the airports is main priority.
Cities all over the country are being hit with cold weather. Chicago is definitely on that list. It always seems to be. According to our NBC affiliate there, the high today is only 16 degrees with a low of 2 degrees. Wind chills yesterday reached as low as 30 degrees below zero. Those frigid temperatures did not stop some people or animals from getting outside, though. One woman said, despite how cold it is, not everything about it is bad.
Okay, I might be one of the only ones in Chicago that loves it. I know. Hot take. That's the hot take in Chicago. I like that it's like nice and quiet.
Now, temperatures there are expected to warm up closer to the 30s and 40s by Sunday to feel like a heat wave.
I was going to say, it's like summertime in Chicago if it's 40 degrees. All right, let's talk about here. Let's talk about the weather that we're expecting. All the snow today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner talking about the impacts.
Yeah, exactly. So we go crippling, significant, inconvenient. This is going to fall right in the significant category. We're definitely seeing closing and delays. I think all of the schools in our entire viewing area either are on remote or closed for today. Outages are possible, especially in our southeastern counties where we'll have a better chance of seeing some freezing rain. And this may last for a couple of days. We're going to see snow continuing to fall into tomorrow, and then very, very cold temperatures tomorrow into Friday. Once we get into Friday and Saturday, we should begin to see some melting. So it's going to begin here shortly. This is a look at the big picture. Look at all the snow here that's covering a good chunk of the country. And then down to the south, of course, it is rain. This is the low pressure system that is headed our way that will help to bring us all that moisture. I mean, look how far north it spreads. That low is sitting right there on the Gulf Coast, and that snow spreads almost all the way to the Great Great Lakes. We're going to see the snow, of course, pushing eastward into our area as we get through the next several hours. Likely to begin to see this as we get into the 10, 11 o'clock hour, most likely. And this is a look at our snowfall forecast. Here's the thing about this. The low pressure system is going to be riding up the coast. So the closer you are to that low there at the coast, the more precipitation we're going to end up seeing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of our heavier snowfall totals from Wilson to Rocky Mount and then up to the north. But, we also have the potential to see a little bit more warmth mixing in here as well. So the farther north and east you go, 4 to 6 inches. We've got 2 to 4 here in this blue band and 1 to 2 in this blue band because we're going to see a pretty sharp cutoff from where we see some significant snow and where it really starts to mix with sleet. Where it mixes with sleet, we're going to see those totals really dropping. But even down toward Fayetteville, even our southern counties could end up seeing up to an inch of some snow and sleet. We zoom in a little more closely, and again, from say Raleigh to Cary to Garner to Apex, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet. I wouldn't be surprised if there are maybe some pockets where it approaches 3 inches. It's just going to depend on where does that line end up. So 2 to 4 in, say, from Zebulon to Wake Forest, Morrisville northward, Chapel Hill, and Durham. We also have the potential for that freezing rain that could cause power outages. So Fayetteville, Clinton to Goldsboro. This is where we could see that ice really adding up to become heavy enough to cause some power outages. So that's going to be the place where we'll have the best chance of freezing rain. Let's walk you through Futurecast. There is a small chance that this starts as a little bit of light patchy rain. Here's 10 a.m. starting to see maybe a few hints of some precipitation. We'll pause it here. I was going to try to pause it there at lunchtime. But here again, you can see the pink shaded area, Goldsboro, Clinton, Fayetteville, some freezing rain there. Smithfield, Tanford, Raleigh. If we really do stay all snow, this version of Futurecast is showing all snow for Wake County northward. If that's the case, we're going to end up more around that 2 to 3 inch total. And then we continue on Thursday. Look at this. Another round of some light snow comes in Thursday morning up until around lunchtime. So this system is going to be with us for a while. How about the road conditions? The roads will be deteriorating by noon. If you really, really must be out, please be back at home before lunchtime. We'll likely have school delays to Friday, and hopefully they'll be back to school by Monday. We are looking at some sunshine on Friday, Saturday and Sunday as well. A little bit of a warm up then. I mean, look at that. Only in North Carolina, we go from 32 today to 67 Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
Just love it. Just love it. That's why we're here. Crashes in the snow, tractor trailers, cars, and a police cruiser involved in a backup.
Yeah, we'll show you the chaos the winter weather caused on an Indiana highway. Well, the system coming our way dropped several inches of snow in the Ozarks of Missouri. Plows were out on the roads working to clear them for drivers. The Missouri Highway Patrol did respond to a number of crashes on highways yesterday.
And that snow is being blamed for a crash on an Indiana highway that caused a huge traffic backup. 9 tractor trailers, 4 cars, and an Indiana Highway Patrol vehicle were all involved in that pileup. Authorities say no one was hurt.
The state DOT will have applied 300,000 gallons of brine by the time the storm system arrives, but there is a price to pay. WRAL's Destiny Patterson breaks down the cost of the storm preparation.
For the 3rd time this year,
This is a look at our snowfall forecast.
North Carolina braces for another winter storm.
You probably noticed this white chalky substance on the roadways. That's because when a storm rolls through, transportation crews cover the streets with brine. NCDOT says it costs about 15 cents a gallon.
Kim Diener with NCDOT says treating the roads is just one part of the preparation.
You're going to put the brine down, you're going to use the gas. People are going to pull extra hours.
We wanted to know how much these important efforts cost taxpayers. We asked NCDOT about how much they spend on brine, gas, and worker overtime. They couldn't get us the total gas or overtime costs on short notice, but they did tell us just to treat the roads, DOT has used more than 770,000 gallons of brine so far this year, most of it in this week's storm. That totals more than $115,000. That's nearly $30,000 more than the department spent been 3 years ago. The combination of snow, ice, and sleet makes Wednesday's storm more unique.
We may see ice with this one. So there'll be an additional group of people that we may have to contract out to cut down trees if they're hanging over with ice.
Diener says all of the costs, from trucks to overtime pay, come out of a nearly $4 million budget. She says that there's still a lot of room in that budget, so any leftover money can be used for other maintenance needs. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News.
And there is a renewed effort in the state legislature to give the Moravian cookies some statewide recognition. House Bill 124, if approved, would adopt the cookie as the official state cookie. The bill details the cookie's history in North Carolina, especially in Winston-Salem, which dates back to the 1700s. A bakery in Clemens has been making the thin, crispy treats for more than 100 years. Another bill filed in the North Carolina House would make the Moravian Star the official star of the state of North Carolina.
In Moore County, the Pine Cone Pathways program is coming back this spring. Here's a look at some photos from previous years. This is the third year for this. So those beautiful glass pine cones are created and then hidden on 100 trails countywide. It runs from March 20th through April 22nd. The pine cones have a special number and QR code on them. So if you find one, you can register it and you'll be eligible to win a 2-night stay in Pinehurst. We'll give you this live look right now, take you to Nashville, Tennessee. This is Broadway, okay, like you don't usually see it. Snow from this system coming our way is already affecting the folks there, covering the streets of Broadway.
It still looks pretty, though.
It does.
Very nice. And to play or not to play, that's the question for NC State and UNC as the rival teams plan to face off tonight. We'll tell you what time a decision could be made today.